Now, before I get into this, I just want to make it clear that I actually care about this game and I want it to be better, alright? I've been a fan of CD Projekt ever since they released one of the greatest games of all time in 2015, okay? I'm not just a blind hater, shut your mouth. Now, about Cyberpunk. Now I knew because of COVID that this game wasn't going to be perfect, but Jesus did I not expect it to be this bad. Now you can make an argument that the bugs and glitches can be fixed, but is that really the point we're at now? Do we not expect functional products anymore? This has to be one of the worst game releases I've seen in a while. I think part of the reason this game was so disappointing to me was because of all the hype around it. This had to be one of the most hyped games in history, and by no means is Cyberpunk a bad game, but it's not the diamond-selling game of the decade, ultra-revolutionary, Jesus-crafted game everybody said it was going to be. I personally had an overhyped friend who kept telling me how good Cyberpunk was going to be. Oh, dude, have you seen Cyberpunk's open world? It's never seen before in video games. Oh, dude, have you seen Cyberware? There's nothing like it. Like, dude, seriously. So some of the bugs aren't game-breaking at all, but because there are so many of them, it really just takes you out of the experience. Some of the most notable bugs in the game are police chases, vehicle spawning, and NPCs. So I'll just focus on those. But trust me, bro, there are so many bugs in this game. It's ridiculous. Now, before I talk about the police in this game, I want to take a look at a game that did police chases right. In the game GTA 5, the police chases you based on the fact of what they know about you. So if you kill 10 guys, but the police only see you kill one guy, you get 1 star. Once you get that star, the nearest police on the map tracks you down. The more you do, the more wanted you are, the more police come after you. The police only directly come after you if they know where you are, meaning that you can hide from them, escape them, and trick them. Now in the game Cyberpunk, you shoot one guy and the police spawns behind you. The sad thing is that this really isn't a bug. This was programmed into the game, meaning that they would have to make major changes to have a good police system. This honestly just takes you out of the experience and ruins the immersion of being a criminal. Vehicle spawning is basically worse than calling in your horse in The Witcher 3 at release. And the NPCs are just not good. Sometimes they just despawn out of nowhere. Sometimes you try talking to them and it just doesn't work, like they don't talk at all. And to be honest, the AI is just not very good in this game. Now the bugs are not the only problem I have with this game. They are for sure the biggest problem, but not the only problem. The gunplay for one is just not that impressive at all. It's pretty basic compared to other first-person shooters. The movement is pretty normal too. You don't really feel your footsteps when you sprint in this game. It kind of feels like you're ice skating. Not really though. And the fist combat came straight out of PUBG. And there are a lot of graphical issues, especially on console. Now some of the RPG elements are also stupid garbage. This game did not need to be reliant on its RPG stats because it does not equal a good open world game. If you don't have a good enough weapon for a situation, the enemies literally become bullet sponges. And that is one of the worst things you can have in a first-person shooter. When you say, yo, the enemy was hard, you are not saying that it was difficult to kill, you are saying that it just had a lot of health. Now, just like a lot of other games, this game did not really benefit from being open world. The game is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like the gameplay of it is lacking. You can have all the graphics you want, but if you don't have a world that is consistently interesting with gameplay elements and interactivity, your world will very quickly become stale and boring. Now, to be clear, while I do have all these problems with the game, I still do think it is a good game. Story was engaging, the environment was insane, the guns and cyberware were cool, the graphics were pretty good too, most of the time. So with all that being said, I do think the good outweighs the bad enough to call it a good game. Alright, I'm feeling a 7 on Cyberpunk 2077. Maybe an 8 if they fix all the bugs, but we'll see.